I'm going to be sharing 5 foundation mistakes for mature skin. So you want to stay tuned because I'm going to go through all of these 5 mistakes, but I'm also going to explain to you how to correct them. These mistakes can end up making skin look even more mature, even older, and we really don't want that. Correcting these mistakes can really help to just make your skin look as good as possible, make it look healthy, and also even make it look younger than what it actually is. As you become older, your skin actually becomes thinner, you lose elasticity, it just feels and looks a lot more delicate, fine lines and wrinkles are going to become a lot more prominent, and your skin tone may become less even and less vibrant. So these are all things that we want to combat. We want to make sure that whatever foundation we're using, it's actually helping to bring life back into your skin, and it's helping to disguise the kind of wrinkles and creasing and just help give you the best possible skin ever. Mistake 1 is using the wrong foundation formula. Thick and heavy formulas like, you know, those like really like full coverage foundations can really make your skin look even worse. The product can end up settling into fine lines and creases, but don't get me wrong, it actually does still settle into those lines and wrinkles even if you're using a luminous foundation, but there is a technique to that, and I have done a video previously to help you with that, so you might want to head on over to that video. Thick and kind of heavy foundations can make it look even worse, and it just looks so cakey, and it ends up looking like you've just got a thick layer on your face, and that isn't what you want. You want to go for foundations which are going to give you that vibrancy back, but also not look like you've got a thick layer. So you do want something which is a lot more natural on your skin, and I know that even though you have mature skin, you might still want to have that coverage. You might still need coverage for under eye circles, but that's where your concealer can come in. Your foundation on its own, you'll be surprised, will actually do a lot of that for you, but the concealer is there to give you that helping hand. So your foundation should be a lightweight, hydrating formula that's not going to actually emphasize any more texture. So you want something which is going to be very light and natural on your skin, because like I said, you can use other products to help disguise issues that you may have. I always prefer that on mature skin, I prefer actually using the foundation first before applying the concealer, because I feel like sometimes it's just in your head where you just think you need more coverage than you actually need. So I would always recommend applying your foundation first, using a lightweight formula, and then having a look at your face and like analyzing it, like where do I actually need more coverage, or is this actually sufficient enough? So do that first, like apply it first, and I would recommend using a brush initially and then seeing whether you want to go into a sponge. Like I would say a sponge takes a bit more time to apply foundation, but using a good brush to apply your foundation is really going to make the world of difference. Personally, I would recommend the BK Beauty 106 brush. I think that's a great brush for just buffing the foundation into your skin. I would actually recommend using a formula which has light reflecting particles in there, and what that's going to do is it's just going to give your skin a lot more radiance. So for example, the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation is a really good option for that. So that would be a really good formula for mature skin because it's not too thick. It gives you a decent amount of coverage, to be honest. And I don't think I've really come across a mature client who has needed so much coverage. I do feel that as you get older and your skin matures, you kind of end up needing less coverage. It's really strange, but I feel like you can get away with more coverage when you've got younger skin, but as you mature, you need to just lighten it up a little bit. And to be fair, if I think back to how I used to apply my own foundation back in the day, I probably used to apply a lot more. I know, shocking, but I actually don't apply as much as what I used to do, and I feel like over time it's definitely becoming less. Obviously, if I'm going for a glam look, then I do apply a little bit more, but my everyday look is a lot less than what it actually used to be. So think about the formula. Like when you're choosing your foundation, look at what it actually says on it. What does the foundation claim to do? Don't just go for a long-lasting foundation and think, oh, it's going to be long-lasting, that's going to be great. You know, have a look at the formula and see, like, is it a radiance enhancing foundation? For example, the MAC Studio Radiance is a really good option too because it's not too heavy. Because I totally understand what you want. What you want is something that's going to give you that radiance, something that isn't going to feel heavy on the skin, and something that is going to give you good coverage but doesn't look heavy. Not asking for a lot, right? So I really truly believe you need to look at the formula and you need to look at what it states it offers for you to be able to get the best out of it. And it always helps if you go into a Sephora and you try it on the back of your hand, because the minute you have like a kind of pump of it on the back of your hand, you'll be able to see like how thick, and if it doesn't move around, that is way too thick for you. So just bear that in mind. Mistake number 2 is skipping your primer. So your primer is going to help to give you a smooth base before your foundation. Now, when you skip a primer, I feel like there are a couple of things wrong with that. For me, which it may not be the case for everyone, but I personally love having a barrier in between my skincare and my makeup, because I just feel like it's almost like something that's letting my skincare get to work, and I'm not messing around with that. And then I've got this veil of primer, and then above it, I've got all the makeup. So there's something just kind of like, just separating the two. Whereas when I have my skincare on and then I go straight in after my moisturizer with foundation, I just feel like I'm just kind of like, I might as well have just mixed my foundation in with my moisturizer, and I don't like that feeling, so I like to apply a primer. But when you have more mature skin, I do feel like you are more likely to need a primer than what someone who is younger would need. And the reason for that is because of the texture of the skin changing, because of the dryness of the skin. As you do age and your skin does mature, you do lose moisture in your skin. And what you want is just that added boost of hydration. So I would opt for going for a primer that helps to minimize the appearance of pores, because pore size becomes bigger as we age as well, but also has hydration in there to give us that extra boost of hydration so that we can really make sure that our skin is getting that extra moisture. You can get primers which are specifically formulated for mature skin, and they target things like, you know, enlarged pores. You know, they help to kind of like smooth out wrinkles or fine lines, and I would recommend going for something like that. One of my favorites personally, and I recommend this to people with mature skin, is the Mercier Pure Canvas Blurring Primer. I feel like it's a really nice texture and it is hydrating, but also it's going to blur the skin, so it really helps with the texture side of it. Like I mentioned, the texture changes of your skin as you mature. So it could be that maybe you don't have the issue with open pores, like enlarged pores, in which case you don't need to worry about getting a primer for that. I would just go for something which is nice and blurring or smoothing, or just that kind of burst of hydration. So really think about what it is that you need for your skin. Almost approach your primer as you approach your skincare. Get a very specific type of primer, which is targeting the issue that you have with your skin so that you can then move on to the next step. I also just want to very quickly add that it would really help me out to bring you guys better content if you do just like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and also hit that bell button, because that way actually helps me out. Now, if you feel that you've got any help so far from any of my videos, it would really, really help me out if you could help me out by just doing those things for me, because it makes a big difference to a creator such as myself. It really helps to grow the channel, and this is what I do day in, day out. I try and bring you the best possible content, so I would really, really appreciate it. Mistake number 3 is applying way too much foundation. With mature skin, less is honestly more. I just feel like it's so obvious when you apply more foundation when it comes to mature skin. So if you are in your 50s, 60s, and you feel like, you know what, I need more coverage, honestly, I would highly recommend relying on a concealer for that, because your foundation, just because you feel like maybe you need coverage kind of all over, it doesn't mean you need to go for like using a foundation and applying 2-3 layers of it, because that isn't going to help, especially based like depending on the type of formula that you go for. Like imagine if you're using a medium to full coverage foundation and you're applying too much of it onto the skin, it's just going to look way too much. I would always recommend to apply your foundation sparingly and blend it in really well. So a sponge is really good for that, but a brush can do the job really well. Like I mentioned earlier, the BK Beauty 106 brush is a great option for foundation application. I personally feel that a lot of us kind of ignore what a foundation is for. Like we don't look at the foundation itself and try the formula out. We just kind of like go by what it says on the bottle and then that's it. I honestly would highly recommend going into a Sephora and trying different formulas. I can guarantee you if you pick 5 different foundation brands that maybe have a foundation where they all say that they're long lasting, and try them all out, they'll all be different textures. You'll have at least one of them which is a different kind of like probably thicker and feels a lot heavier. So that's why it's always best to go in and have a look. I would also say that when you're applying your foundation, apply one pump, and pumps can be, the amount that you get out of a pump can be different for every foundation. Apply one pump and use it sparingly. So don't just go and think that you have to use that entire amount. Like you'll eventually figure out how much you actually need with practice. But if you apply one pump, I would recommend, if you are using a brush, to basically grab some of the foundation, move it to the side of your hand, and then use that first. Buff it into the sponge and then buff it into your skin. Because if you just go right into the entire pump and go all over, then that is way too much. Another thing that I have seen people do, which is a mistake within a mistake, so it's a mistake within this mistake, is actually apply the foundation like this. So they'll literally get the foundation and they'll go like that, and then they'll just start blending it in. What a mistake. Such a big no-no. You think that's quick, but honestly, you are saving seconds. It's just pointless, because all you're doing is you're adding so much to the skin, like bit by bit, that it's not going to be an even base. So I would highly recommend using it on the back of your hand, buffing it into the brush first, and then buffing it into your skin. So always think about how much you actually are applying to the skin. I also would love you guys to head on over to the Beauty Breakfast Club, which is my online magazine. I write all of the articles on there. There's a new one every other day, and everything is about beauty primarily. And then you've got a little bit of culture, wellness in there thrown into the mix. I actually think you're gonna love it there. So head on over, subscribe. There are 2 versions. One's free, which gives you access to the occasional newsletter like article. The other is paid, and it's only the equivalent to getting yourself 1 latte a month, and it gives you access to the entire site. You get first access to new things that are happening, maybe some online events. We're also introducing giveaways soon to the paid subscribers, and we get to chat as well. I've met so many of you on there, and like it's so great because I'm actually becoming friends with a lot of them, a lot of you, and we chat, we talk about things, and it just gives you that direct access. So I'd really appreciate if you head on over and show some support. Mistake number 4 is using the wrong tools. The wrong brush can actually end up leaving a really streaky finish on your skin. So when you pick your brush, pick the right type of brush. So if you use a traditional foundation brush, you know, the old school one that's flat, it's a no-no. Honestly, it literally is like using a paintbrush, right? It's not going to give you the result that you want, and ultimately you want something that isn't going to take a lot of time. Now, the brush that I've recommended throughout this video is the BK Beauty 106 brush. This isn't going to give you streaking, because it's about how you use it too. So if I were to go into my foundation, or even go like that, and then I'm like this, and I'm just like that, yes, you might end up with streaking. So it really depends on your technique as well as your brush. But this brush is very soft. It's compact, but it's not hard. So it's not a firm brush. It's nice and soft. So it's really easy. And because the bristles are very fine at the tip, it's really easy to buff into the skin, and it's hard to have a streaky finish with this brush. But I would always recommend buffing the foundation into the brush first and then buffing it into your skin. It's going to make a world of difference to you. If you want, you can use a sponge too, but that I would recommend for mature skin to always have it damp. And what I mean by that is wet it so it doubles in size, wrap a tissue around it or a towel, soak up all the water. Do that twice just to really, really make sure you're getting rid of the excess water, and then buff into your foundation before you buff into your skin. And that is going to give you a really, really amazing seamless finish. Now, I would say that out of a brush and the sponge, in both ways that I've explained the correct way to use it, the brush is quicker and the sponge will take you a little bit longer. So it's really just down to preference really, and time that you have. One thing I will say with both of them, you're never going to drag, you are always going to dab. So it's always dabbing, buffing into the skin. Number 5 is neglecting concealer. I do feel like I mentioned earlier, some people will either rely too much on a foundation, which ends up making you look cakey because you're using too much of it, or you've got the wrong formula, or they're not relying on their foundation enough. And what that means is you're applying a foundation which is maybe way too light for you, or maybe too heavy for you, and you're not getting that right kind of like balance of it. Now, concealer is always going to help you to disguise things like dark circles. It's going to help with like pigmentation in certain areas, but I feel like people sometimes neglect their concealer because they rely too much on their foundation. Now, like I mentioned earlier, it is important to understand that your foundation can actually do a lot for you, but some people will avoid using a concealer and therefore end up like some of the mistakes I mentioned, using way too much foundation on their face, or using a foundation which is way too heavy for them. Now, you've got to remember, your concealer is there to be able to give you that kind of help for coverage. So use your foundation for what it is meant for, which is to give you that veil of color and help with any coverage, but don't rely on it so heavily. Do lean on your concealer a little bit and use that to help kind of cover up the darkness or the dark circles wherever you need it. I would always recommend using a concealer which has a hydrating formula, so make sure that it is something that's not going to dry out too quickly. Concealers which end up drying very quickly after applying them are not going to be good for you. It's just going to look too heavy, especially in combination with a foundation that you've just got perfect. You know, you've got the right hydrating foundation. Why are you going for a hydrating foundation, which is so good for your skin, but then you're not doing the same with your concealer? So you need to understand that your skin needs hydration as you mature. So you want to go for that when it comes to the foundation and the concealer. So don't leave one of them out. Address your concealer in the same way that you address your foundation. There is so much more I can tell you about kind of like the tips for mature skin, and there are so many videos that I have, so make sure you do go through them, the previous ones, and that should help you with any concerns that you have. But if there's any other kind of problem solving that you need, let me know in the comments box below. Don't forget that all my products are listed in there, and there are loads of discount codes in the description, so head on over there so that you don't miss out, and I'm going to see you on the next video.